Hey, how you doing? Welcome. We got a big announcement today. We are Bad Plan Studios, the three of us. I'm Chad,
I'm Eli.
And I'm Dan.
and yeah, we are Bad Plan Studios. So we've been working on this game, End of Ember. You've probably heard of it. If you haven't, now you have. Like, follow, subscribe, all the things on the link in the comments. And what we've done is we're not going to be talking about the studio that much in general in our marketing and stuff because it's our first game and who cares about the studio. But it's a way for us to tell you about who we are, introduce you to us as like real human beings, and you get to know a little bit more about us, and all of that. Will soon have some Meet the Dev videos where you'll all meet us one by one, but we can talk a little bit about the studio and like what it means to us and what we're trying to do with it and all that sort of thing. So I'd like to start with the name, Bad Plan Studios. And I think, Dan, this was originally your idea. Do you want to talk about where the idea came from?
Yeah, so the idea, I was just like online with Eli. We were trying to work out what name we want. And I was like, man, you just have to put like two words together. Anything that sounds cool. And I looked around and on my wall with my health plan was up there, like stuck to the wall. So I didn't forget to take it like when I needed to use it. And I was like, just get words like, I looked and it was like, bad plan. And like, but that was like one of a heap. But then that one just stuck. It just like, and it's got that whole vibe of it, your bad plan. What is it? Like, bad plan's better than no plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's from this book, this game dev book, which when we were talking about... Oh, can you hear me?
No.
No, you can't. When we were talking about doing a studio, Dan's like, yeah, sure, we can do a studio, but you have to read this book. Highly recommended. Vlad, and just a great story. Vlad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And he made the game Dark, pretty much solo, hugely successful himself. Great story, but yeah, bad plan is better than no plan is what he says in there. So that's kind of where that comes from. What about you, Eli? What's your jam on the studio title? Why do you like it?
I just kind of like the humour of it and the sarcasm. Obviously in game dev you want to try and plan as best you can, but yeah, just having the bad plan sounds a little bit sarcastic and more humorous, which is kind of my style, so I quite enjoy that.
Yeah, we're just three dads doing it.
Yeah.
Three dads. Three dads. But, yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the things about us is we're all dads. I've got little girl Sigrun, which is awesome. Like being a dad is one of my favorite things in life, but it makes it kind of hard to be a developer as well, or have like a side business or stuff like that, because it's like you've got family priorities and you've got, evenings. It's hard to get away for evenings or after hours events. And this is something that like mums have put up with since history. And also in the game dev industry, it's like not a great place for women as well. So it's kind of like we're in a position of privilege, but you get a taste of like how it's kind of hard in that way.
It's also as well like you're a dad. We're adults. We're not kids.
True.
And you kind of like as you get older, you look over like the things that don't matter.
Yeah.
You kind of like it's just like, oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, and it's just like, well, what if this problem comes up? And you're like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, who really cares about that stupid thing that I'm not going to think about ever again? Like, where other people get, like, younger people always get fixated on a lot of, like, the smaller problems and that, where we're just like, nah, big picture. It's all about big picture. We should say what we do, at least what we do in the company.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm basically, like, I'd just say I'm, like, the art guy. Like, and I've been like, leaning towards design recently, a designer. Like, so I like drawing and designing characters and designing stories and designing gameplay bits and just shit like that. And yeah, that's just what I like doing. Eli?
Yeah, I'm a programmer essentially, so doing a lot of the tech side of things. Trying to fix up some of Dan's spaghetti code that he had.
Hell yeah!
That he had before I came in, but I do a fair bit of like Unity developer stuff as well. So just have a bit of knowledge around how to build stuff in the engine. Yeah.
Typey man. Type maths. Physics type maths man.
Yeah. And Dan, tell us about, because Dan was first, and then tell us about how you started Ember, and then brought Eli on, and then I'll go.
Yeah, so originally I just started Ember by myself. End of Ember, which is the game, our first thing that we'll bring out. Yeah, I was just doing some work for another game, like doing some concept art, and basically, that I kept saying, let's put this in, let's put that in. And they were like, dude, you just don't know how hard it is. You can't just keep putting stuff in and just saying whatever you want. You can't just do that. And I'm like, oh, yeah? So I downloaded Unity and I opened it up and just went, nah, I'm going to do this. And just like power learned it through like YouTube and just like forums and shit. And that was like, it was about, it was like, I don't know, kind of like from the little bit after I joined Game Plus. Like that was just a bit before that. And yeah, just kind of just winged it. Just to prove to myself as well that you can just make a game. But then like, it sounds like I just made a game out of nowhere. But also like, I found that the idea of making games or the concepts of, or like what the skills you need to make games is pretty much everything I have been training for my entire life. Everything I've done all leads to game dev in a weird way. And like my wife said that as well. She was like, it's weird. Like everything you have learned, like you did film, you did like, you do art, you do design, you do like, illustrate children's books, like every part you're fully into computers, you edit. Everything is like the core concept you need to make games. And you've just like excelled kind of, or tried to excel in all those areas. And then this kind of came together and I was like, fuck this. And then when I'm doing it, it's like, it feels like everything I was ever supposed to do is this. So I just got to do as fast as I can. But yeah.
And then you went, look at my code and enter Eli.
Yeah, my code's shit, hey. Like, I was just winging the fuck out of this shit. Like, I was just like, yeah, that worked. I suppose that worked. And I don't realize that, there's an art to code. And I don't have an art to code.
It's more of a science. More of a science than an art.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck. And so I joined this, I was doing some help out on some other game stuff. And I met Eli there. And Eli just kind of saw my game. And I think it kind of like melded with him a bit. He was just like, oh yeah, I like the tongue-in-cheek bullshit in that game.
Yeah.
And then like I just kind of said, well, do you want to help me out? And then it like went from there. And then basically the same with Chad.
I'll tell this bit because, Dan, like, so my version of this story, I don't know how true it is that like Dan worked on building a prototype for like 8 months or something. And then he went, and what I like is that he won't tell you this, but what I like is that when he was going through, he's like, I'm not sure I can do it. I've heard this is really hard and I don't have any training or whatever, but I'm going to try and make a game. And then after 8 months, he went, I think I've got a game. I think I've got a prototype. And he showed it to people.
I didn't know that word.
Oh, yeah, I know. I think I got a game. And he showed it to people, and people were like, this is fucking rad. This is awesome. This is great. And he's like, oh, I did it. And then he went, and then it's kind of like, oh, yeah, code needs work. Enter Eli. And then he was talking to me, and Dan goes, oh, I think this is what I want to do, man. I think I want to make games. And I'm like, yeah, you and me both. But the problem is I have no technical skills compared to these two. So I don't actually have actual game development skills. But then Dan goes, but you know what I really hate and I don't want to do is all the business bullshit. And I'm like, well, I can help with that because a little bit like Dan, like my whole life, everything that it's again that kind of thing of like everything's led to this point. I've got an academic background. I've run business. I do business development training for game developers in my day job. And I'm like, yeah, I can help with that. I don't mind. Like, I actually enjoy writing business plans and doing pitches and grant applications. And
you're the worst.
Right. So, but I'm also a developer and in the studio. So what we've got is this three of us, and there's the three areas. So there's like business and production, there's technical, and there's creative, art and design. And then like, that's perfect because 3 is a very strong number. And it's easy to make decisions that way. So yeah.
What else is there to say?
What next?
That's it. It's just a game we're making, basically. And we need to put it under some sort of banner. So that's it, because that's the rules of Steam. So we're going to bring it out on Steam first and seeing how it goes and stuff like that. And that's about it, really. If you do want to, follow our journey, we've got a Discord, we've got a Twitter, we got on X, we've got a Facebook, Instagrams, all the socials.
TikTok.
Tickers. Got a Tickers.
Tickers. Follow us on Tickers.
Tickers is the best, mate. Yeah, so if you just want to like...
Sounded old as then.
Tickers, mate. Tickers.
On the top.
We're on the line.
Hello, fellow kids.
Yes. But, yeah, so if you want to check it out, it's a horror-based game as well. It may look nice. Actually, you can't see, but she's got a chainsaw with all guts on it. Eli's in the way.
You can see a bit here.
Yeah. But it's a top-down roguelite shooter. We're probably, like, labouring this video. It's been up for, like, 10 minutes now.
Yeah, let's bounce. It's like, there'll be a trailer, there'll be GIFs. Just follow us and find out more.
Yeah. None of us realise that we're not holding the mic when we speak. But yeah.
We're professional, I promise. All right, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe in the things, and see you next one.
Bye.
Bye.